Welcome back to another edition of Blueprints and Banter. I'm Steve Cona, President and CEO of ABC Florida Gulf Coast Chapter. And today we are joined with our 2025 Member of the Year, Mr. Jason Hall. Jason, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show. And let's talk about a little bit about what you do at GMF Steel.
So I'm the Chief Revenue Officer. I'm over all the business development and really client relationships, just make sure we're continuing on a growth path and just vision for the company as well.
So you guys, when you guys joined ABC, you just, as a company, jumped right in. And I think a lot of it was because of what your expectations were and how you wanted to do. But just talk about like why not only you jumped in, but your whole company jumped in to ABC.
Yeah, so I kind of led the charge in joining ABC and started out going to the networking events and found that it was a great way for me to spend time with our clients because we had a lot of client members. And then as I got more involved, really saw some of the other aspects of ABC and really the value that brings to the industry as a whole with political advocacy and workforce development, safety. And then as we continued to grow and we got more involved with ABC, I started pulling in our experts in those areas as well. And then we really saw value in like next gen and getting the younger staff involved as well. We felt that was very important.
Yeah, and I think for us, as far as ABC goes, like we feel we're at our best is when not only the company joins and their leaders are involved, but they get everyone down the totem pole involved. Because I think from our YPs, to our women's in construction group, to our apprentices, like it becomes kind of an ecosystem for success.
For sure.
So talk about you being on the board. So we realized what an asset that you are to our industry, and we put you on our board, and now you're on our executive committee. Talk about how it's been for you on the board and serving the industry as a whole.
Yeah, it's been really great. Like I said, as I got more involved with ABC and learned more about the different aspects, as I kept unpeeling layers of the onion, I found different areas that I really wanted to find out more about, be more involved in. I had heard about Next Gen. I'm a little bit older than probably most of the Next Gen people, and really researched some of the committees. And so once I kind of put my hand up and said, look, I really want to be involved in y'all offered a board position, that actually was perfect for me.
Yeah.
And have really, really enjoyed being a part of this group.
Yeah, and we appreciate the insight that you bring. And I think a lot of people don't realize the advocacy that we do for the industry. And a lot of that comes from our board meetings and figuring out, what challenges we have as an industry. We have the best and brightest, in our boardroom to try to solve these challenges, but it takes a lot of effort. You want to talk about like how eye-opening the advocacy process has been for you? I mean, your GMF does a lot of advocacy on their own, but as an industry, how do we work through that?
Yeah, so I've got a lot of friends and even acquaintances that are in politics, and I've heard so many times over and over again, what are the challenges that you're facing? Because they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So the fact that we all get together and have representatives, leadership from companies that are literally building billions and billions of dollars worth of construction in this area, to all come together and identify what these challenges and issues are and have an avenue to go and present them to the state of Florida or local politicians or even national, and move the needle on that. We're helping to really steer this industry.
Yep. And so much stuff just comes out of the conversations that we have as a collective. When we talked about the sales tax on labor and how we're working on that in Tallahassee, and how that would greatly benefit if we got that eliminated, how that would benefit our industry and benefit affordability. These are all the things that we're working on, and it's because people like you sit in our boardroom and make it possible that we understand these challenges.
Absolutely.
Now talk about a little bit about the engagement and like how does somebody how does a leader in their company go about getting some of their folks involved with ABC at different levels? Like, what type of engagement does that take from you as a leader to help engage the others and make it important to them?
Well, I think first ask the question, see what's out there. For me, it took just being around, being at the events, asking questions, hearing from other people that are working on committees or going to other events that I didn't know about. Really just digging in at that level to find out what is out there, and then find the appropriate people at the company, at your company, to get involved. Mm-hmm. But I think it's important from the top down that the top leadership needs to be bought in and see the value of that too.
Yeah, and your company leaders are well. I mean, Andy is, he's a big proponent of ABC and understands what we're doing. And so it does start at the top, whether it's advocacy, safety, building your people and growing them. You guys do a great job, job of that. So, member of the year, was that like a surprise? Like,
I was so shocked.
We always like to surprise people, but what were your first thoughts? Like, well deserved and well earned, but like, what's that feeling when you found out that you were the member of the year? Because now it comes with a whole bunch of more responsibilities.
Of course, it really blew me away, and I can remember it's probably a couple years ago when Mark was named member of the year, and I was out there at the event and sitting at my table and was thinking, man, that would be really cool someday if I could earn something like that. And it didn't even enter my mind. So when you started talking about who this member of the year was, and I started looking back at my table full of people that were there to support, it's like, oh no, he's about to call me.
That's why all these people are here.
That's right. So yeah, it's a huge honor, especially to just know some of the past members of the year. It's a good group to be a part of.
And it's so, for us this year, it was very easy to figure out who that person was. And, a lot of times, we have so many people who are involved and are so engaged at all levels. But I think this year, the amount of work that you've put into, being present and making your workforce and your team engaged with us, kind of set you apart. And, we're very proud to have you and honored that you're our member of the year. So what would you say to companies who are, and we see a lot of them. Look, we have a lot of members in the association, but we want to bring in the best contractors into the network. That's very important to us. We want to represent the best. You can't build anything on the Gulf Coast of Florida without using ABC members. We know that. Right. But talk about, if there's somebody on the sidelines who's like, oh, I don't have time to get involved, with ABC. I don't have time to be a member. What do you tell those people?
We're all busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Everything is extremely busy now, but you have to prioritize that. Yeah. Right. I mean, if we're not the ones steering this industry, then who are we leaving that up to? So there's a lot of things out there that we deal with, challenges, issues. All of that needs to be addressed with the politicians. You've got workforce challenges. We really need to dig in as an industry and help foster interest from young folks that are looking for new careers, and give them opportunities to train and build a career in construction.
Yep, and I think, and that's, I guess, because I'm part of ABC, but we have to do that as a collective. Like, we're not going to grow our workforce in silos, right? We're not going to change the industry in silos. And as much as we like to think, that, we're all and mighty, we have a great company that does a lot of things, like, our industry is so big, but it's so small at the same time that it really takes a collective to really move the needle. Yeah,
so I just would say, find the time.
Yep.
Find the right people in your company that can represent and come bring a good perspective to the group. And it's well worth it. You're going to get more out of it than what you are putting into it.
So, a question outside of the scope, because I think we have your expertise here today. I want to talk about, like, what do you see the next, year and a half, 2 years of our industry? What are you seeing coming down the pike? I mean, you guys are so busy right now. Are you seeing like a little bit of a downturn? Are you seeing an influx? Like, what are you seeing as an industry, and what are you preparing for?
We've been very blessed. We've got a lot of work in the pipeline. We've got a very long runway of work that we're seeing. So we're continuing to hire, we're continuing to train, we're managing our roster,
Yeah.
and really just being prepared to take the next step.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be a challenge, because sometimes too much work is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, this area is going to continue to grow. I don't see that stopping. And you know, with our labor shortage and making sure that we're keeping our employees happy and productive and safe, you know, it's going to lead to a lot of challenges. But because we have people like you and leaders like you, we'll be able to hit those challenges before they really get to be problematic.
We've had growing pains.
Yep.
You know, and you have to grind through it. You have to make good decisions, and you just also have to have the foresight to have the vision of where your company's going and start preparing for that ahead of those challenges.
Yep. Because at any given time, things can go sideways, and as an industry, we've seen that. You know, we've seen it when recessions hit or certain things happen in the economy, or COVID. You know, we've seen these things happen, so we have to just prepare for them. But like I said, as an industry, as a collective, we're doing the best that we can, I think, to move the industry forward. And it's because we have leaders like you, part of the process. And once again, congratulations on being our member of the year. We look forward to celebrating you until we crown somebody new next year. But Jason, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on Blueprints and Banter, and we look forward to seeing you next time.